Hi guys, welcome to today's tutorial. Today we'll be learning how to make this beautiful painting using gouache. The first step I'm going to do is to create the background, and for that I have mixed some vermilion with white, and I'm going to create a very watery one and going to create the background here. So you'll notice that when this dries out, it dries out pretty neat, clean, and it has a very matte finish. So that's what makes gouache really amazing and versatile. You can use it as a watercolor, and you can also use it with a very thick layer of color, so it will be pretty opaque. Here is how it looks when it's completely dry, and now I'm going to mix a thicker version to create the layers on top, and my idea is to create lots of flowers and in different sizes. So any pattern can be created this way. All you need to do is repeat that shape all around your page, and you can just make them in different sizes. They don't always have to be the same size. I'm making one kind of flower over here. You can choose any kind of flower that you want to create. In fact, you can even create multiple flowers of different colors. Here what I have done is I've created a slightly darker version of my background for my foreground. I really like going outside my background space that I have created, because it creates some kind of a aesthetic appeal when you look at an image. So I go about, and I don't always pertain to sticking within the lines. So this is a great tip that I would give to most of you guys. In fact, to everybody who is watching this video right now, that always think outside the box. It's completely fine to experiment. In fact, make a lot of mistakes while you experiment, and you don't know what amazing thing is going to come out of one of these mistakes. Using the same petal details, I'm creating now these smaller flowers which are over there, and you can use the tip of your brush. So if you notice, when I use my brush for a smallest area, I would sometimes use the same big brush. I would just hold it a little more closer so that I can use the tip. You can feel free to shift your brushes, use what you're comfortable with, and create all of these details. And you'll notice that with gouache, when it starts drying, the colors would change a little bit. The darker color becomes a little lighter, the lighter color becomes a little darker. I don't feel like adding anything else, so I'm just going about creating all of these flowers, and I'm not going to create any other pattern other than just creating flowers and maybe some details in the end with a pen. I'm going to now let this dry, and we'll see what other details we can add to it once this entire thing is dry. I also like to add white with every single color that I use. One tip is you don't have to wash your palette in which you use your gouache, because you can be reactivated by adding a little bit of water or maybe even a little bit of white, which is what I've done over here right now. I've taken a little bit of green and I've added white. I'm going to create these stems and leaves around this for all of the flowers right now. So some of them could be in dark, some of them could be in light green. So go about this. You don't have to create the same style, but you can use multiple colors layered on top of each other. Here I am also not having any issue with the foreground and the background merging together and creating a third color. That's because my background is pretty light, and also I'm not putting a lot of pressure on the top layer which I'm creating. Sometimes when you put a lot of pressure on the top layer, the bottom layer will get activated, and then the two colors will merge with each other. So just wait for your background to completely dry, because otherwise they will merge with each other, they'll get activated. So if you want a very clean look like how I've done right now, then your best bet is to make two paintings at a time. So while one dries, you can handle the second one, and while the second one is drying, you can go back to your first one. We'll let this dry and we'll see how it looks once it's dried. Now this is how the final look is when it's dried, and it's dried quite nicely. The matte finish can be seen quite well, and I will be using now a pigment liner to add in all the details inside this. You could use a brush pen You could also use regular brush and mix some black color or some brown color to add in the details to this. In this particular one, I prefer using a pigment liner. You could use 0.5, 0.8, any size that you're comfortable with. Abstraction is a lot of fun. It doesn't really have to be as realistic as you see a flower outside. You could do it that way, but if you want to do something little different, you can just pick up some hints from the different objects that you see. If you look at a flower, just pick up hints of how the petals are folding and how, in which direction they are moving towards, what is the general shape of it, how are the pollens inside, how do they look, and that will help you to create a lot of interesting patterns. Here you can see I'm adding a lot of tiny details using my pen, and the whole thing is coming together. You could also use a different colored pen. It's not necessary that you should use only black. So this whole painting is done basically just using three colors, which is your vermilion, and then your green, and then black. So white is the additional color that I have used to make all my other colors lighter. So in gouache in general, it's a good idea to use white because the colors which you get by mixing the regular gouache colors with white are beautiful shades, beautiful pastel shades. Some of them are bright pastels, dark pastels, and the range that you get with these by mixing white is beautiful. It's not anything that I have found with any other medium, especially I do a lot of watercolor paintings, but I don't find these kind of colors in that. So I enjoy creating gouache because of this. So by adding even these lines inside the leaves, now you can see how the entire thing has come to life. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Do subscribe to my channel, and if you do create this, don't forget to tag me on Instagram. Thank you.